Welcome, good afternoon to another edition of Nature Island Small Business Buzz. So, if the buzz is in the economics, it may not be in the politics, it could also be the marketing and the strategy and the publicity, then the product development, the service, the middleman, the marketing, the finance, getting it from point A to point B. Like we're all proud to see Bello products somewhere in America on the shelves in the great supermarkets. And of course, you go to London and you see some Dominican products, particularly all over America right now. You can get all over the Caribbean too. You can also get all of Pedro Simos. We're also very proud when we see our products going that far and wide, representing the Nature Isle, made with 100% pure Dominican water. And businesses and ideas, small businesses, they take different shapes and different forms in terms of service and products. And this afternoon, our guest will talk to us about both segments, sections, and departments of those on the same platform. A service industry where you serve the customers as part of a greater enterprise, and then establishing your own enterprise. So moving from level A to level extra A. In other words, moving from just good to platinum. So his name is Mr. CL, Chief Executive, knowledgeable, intelligent, highly trained, skilled, certified, and qualified. If I just say Carlton, you'd know who I'm talking about. Small business ideas taking different forms for success. I just want to welcome all our listeners. We're back on track once again, all over the world listening to us. And this afternoon, the surprise continues. Donald is on assignment, studying for his doctorate, I think, in marketing. Okay, so in a short while from now, we go back to our evangelist our theme. And when we come right back, as we talk to our special guest, a little surprise for you this afternoon. Okay, so this afternoon we're staying in house and we're going into the enterprise. In fact, we have a double header in one special, unique, and Dominican individual who has the tenacity to move from strength to strength. This is our guest this afternoon. Good afternoon to you. So I hope you're with me. Good afternoon, Dr. Kalti. Oh, we just lost him there. Okay, we're gonna try again. I think I have you on. Good afternoon.
Franklin, good afternoon to you, and
Okay,
good
I'm
afternoon to
happy you're here. Good afternoon. Let me officially introduce you, Mr. Businessman himself. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Carlton Lando. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to our program, Nature Island Small Business Bus. We're happy to have you as our guest this afternoon.
Well, Franklin, thank you so much for having me. It's been a while. I am quite flattered that you would have reached out to me this morning and asked me to be a guest on your talk show. Well, this particular show, as we're focusing on business, as you know, my cap has been sort of turned backward.
No, I think you're copper over.
So it's turned forward, you know.
Yes.
Sometimes when you want to move on,
Yes.
and you turn your cap back to front, it gives you a bit more speed. So hence
Okay.
the reason why I said I may have turned mine a little backward
Okay, but
rather
maybe
than the back fitting to the front.
maybe one
Yeah.
day you can write a book about turbocharging your business.
Awesome.
Well, everything is in divine order. Yeah, we focus on small businesses, but you've had the great opportunity and the leverage in that you've served both in the capacity of being an executive within an executive corporation or enterprise, and now you're doing your own thing, and now you're at the helm. Before we do that, let's tell us about your background and your gradual transition into becoming a CEO.
All right. So I come with an extensive background, particularly in the pharmaceutical industry. I have been a pharmacist since 1997.
Okay, hold on. I'm curious to ask. Okay, you say 1997. You were 19, 20, 21, 22?
1997, Franklin.
Yeah, if you say 1997, were you 19, 18, 21, 20? What age were you then?
When I became a pharmacist, I may have been in my early 20s.
Okay, excellent. Okay, excellent. Continue.
Yeah, at that time, I would have been that. And then I went overseas. I was overseas for quite some time.
Okay.
And then subsequently came back. But most of my experience in pharmacy, without the public maybe even be aware of, because I think for my latter or my previous employer and the place where I worked previously, most people would have known me from my area in public health.
I thought so myself at the beginning. Yes.
In public health promotion, that type of thing. But most of my experience in pharmacy itself was in management.
Okay.
So I even when I lived overseas and worked overseas, I was always in managerial positions. And even in my the last company I worked for, I was in management as well. So I can say that I have extensive knowledge beyond just the pharmaceutical industry, but insights particularly in sales, in people development,
corporate decisions.
Yeah. Okay. And then based on the numerous organizations that I have served on, I served on the Caribbean Pharmaceutical Association for a couple of years. I served there as chair of the education committee for quite some time. I was Dominica's representative on the Commonwealth Pharmaceutical Association based in England. I have served, I'm currently vice president of the Dominica Diabetes Association. So based on my track record and the things that I have involved myself in, I've always been, most of what I have done has always been centralized and encapsulated the development of people. And so when I decided to move into a new direction, I wanted to actually do it in such a way that I had latitude
Hmm.
and I had the willpower that I could definitely do it with my in my own time. And so hence the reason why I was driven to actually um, get into entrepreneurship, more specifically, starting off my own business.
Business, yes. Hmm. Yep. Okay. So no, no, no. Right now we know you as a consummate and professional pharmacist. What made you go into that? Oh, hold on, but you're from St. Joseph, but ever since I've known you as the face of this particular company. But what made you go into that? Because as you just mentioned, as you've just discovered that you have very good people skills, Carlton. How did you develop that?
Well, that's a good question that you've asked. I've always said in the past that pharmacy found me rather than I found it.
Okay,
Um,
interesting.
or anybody who would have gone to school with me, whether it's high school or college, they would have known that I initially wanted to either be in education or in journalism broadcasting. I that these were the areas that I had a keen interest in, and then I I did some tutoring to some extent that I
Hmm.
enjoyed. I worked in laboratory for a short time, and then I decided to do pharmacy. But um, through the whole process of even studying to be a pharmacist, I recognized that one of the electives that I did was public health,
Public health.
and I recognized that that area because it was so social in its core. It deals with, the inequalities in health and all these different issues. Coming from going to sixth form and doing sociology, um, I felt a strong affinity towards that particular area. And so that in itself just sort of just gave me that
Mm.
energy
Energy catapult
to
you. Hmm.
to kind of focus more on preventative medicine, that health education, health promotion, that particular area.
Yeah, as you mentioned, okay, those two there, you have become synonymous with those two: health promotion, health. What's the other one you just mentioned? Um, is right now you have become a credible voice. Is and now you've moved from there now to moving and stepping into carving out your own structure. I was happy to have seen you when we had this on a number of occasions, this men's conference, and many other occasions where in reference to the last one we were at, you also have leadership qualities. Carlton, what drives you? What are some of the qualities a person? What is the mental state a person supposed to have in order to be resilient in business in this type of environments? As a young person.
Humanity. Simplistically putting it, humanity. I am a humanitarian at heart. I believe in people.
Hmm.
Sometimes people are not always fair to me or to you,
Yep.
but I think generally the consensus is most people are good people. And so when you look at it from a broader standpoint, you recognize that what you do, it's not merely influenced by how people treat you, but it's really what do you think you want your legacy to be, and what type of impact would you want to have on your community. And so when I look around and I see how generally people have validated me, and I see that I have had a voice and I continue to have a voice, and people trust the information that they get from me, that actually propels me to want to give more, want to have a greater impact.
Hmm.
And hence the reason why Health and Communication Solutions Limited was born. It was born under difficult circumstances, in a sense, at the time when I created it, but I did not make that muddy water or rough seas quenched my desire to launch it. and I launched it even within when all of what was happening. I launched it, and I must say that the support that I have gotten has been overwhelming, particularly from professionals. I have never been turned away by any CEO or any HR personnel.
Mm-hmm.
I recently have done 2 trips overseas to do work, and the people have really purchased. They have bought. They have buy into what I have had to sell to them, and they recognize the dynamism of what we are offering. And so and I think for me, one of the things that I have learned
Mm-hmm.
so well,
Yeah.
particularly within the past couple of months,
Yeah.
is the power of silence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you and I were talking about that
Yeah,
recently, I think,
most
at a
certainly.
forum.
Yes.
And I was saying that, you think of you at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's it's a ballsy evening, and then the electricity goes, and you may not have any other form of light. But the moon is out, and you go outside and you sit, and you'll be amazed how much you will hear in the silence. And so I think for me,
Hold on. I
that
like.
is
Hold on. Hold
one
on. Hold on.
that
Hold on a while. I think what you just said there is so poetic. As you what you hear.
I'm a
Oh,
poet, Franklin. I'm
yeah,
a
I
poet as
know.
well. I'm a writer.
Repeat that line. What you hear in silence. I mean, that is like deep. You have many
Right.
talents, man.
So what I'm saying to you, that
Yeah.
silence itself speaks
Yes.
back. It has its language,
It's a
and
language, sir.
it speaks to us. And a lot of the
Oh
times,
man, I love
what
that.
differentiates is, do we hear or do we listen? And I think when you make that time to be silent, because I was saying to a very close friend of mine yesterday that I have not missed the radio at all. I've not. I've been in radio since 2013, and I have not missed it. And I think that it was a good time having an index, a break from the radio, whereby you can really take that time and listen to yourself, listen to your energy, listen to your spirit, listen to the things that move you, the things that makes you, and assess all of that
Mm-hmm.
so that you can make wiser, more
Informed
prudent,
decision.
more conscientious decisions
Excellent.
that are going to bear greater fruits. And I think that is what I have done. And I think personally it has already created a blossom of energy for me. Trust me.
Hmm. Nice. Nice. Okay, so we understand the background of Caltanando. What are the services that you provide? What are your competencies? What services that you're qualified in, nationally, regionally, and of course internationally? Because when I was at the function with the Caribbean, from what's it called? It has a short name for it. The
The men's
Caribbean.
symposium,
What's the name?
at the men's symposium
No,
you're
no, no,
talking
no, no,
about
no,
when
no.
we
The
met there.
pharmacists from the Caribbean who here I interviewed.
Oh, when the Caribbean Association of Pharmacists conference that was held in June.
In June, right? I was there with you, and I recognize that you had a high level of influence and coordination, and you invited me there too. So, what are the services that you provide? Apparently, that you have great insight into medicinal leadership, information dissemination, and marketing. What is it that you provide? And what's the name of your company
Well,
again? The new one you just created.
I like that.
Mm.
Well, as I've said to you, that what drives me is humanitarianism and people,
Hmm.
and the core of people. So for me, mentorship is one of the services that we offer. Personal growth and life coaching, customer service, client care, um, sales training, product knowledge development and training. These are areas that are very dear to me, coming from a strong sales background, and as well, always. I mean, people have always been gravitated to me. To sometimes I have pinched myself at times, Franklin,
Hmm.
with the type of real hardcore things people have said to me that they have trusted me with as a professional and have not left my office feeling uncomfortable that they told me what they had to say. And so that in itself has sort of given me what it takes to understand people and at the same time to help and coach people, particularly in difficult situations. I am not one who coach from an absent standpoint. I believe in encapsulating my own experiences in life, what I've endured, my triumphs, my tribulations, my pains, my gripes, and sharing those with my audience so that they can understand that life life is like a tree. It will blossom. It will have periods where it blossoms. It makes fruits, but it will have moments when it will shed. And sometimes it sheds to the point where you're even tempted to cut it down because you think it's dead, but it's actually not dead. It's just going through its drought period. And so a lot of the times people go through those phases in their lives, and it's very easy for them to want to give up or for them to just live in isolation, but not recognizing that even in that season, you might be in that season for a particular reason to actually prepare you and prepare you for the next horizon. And so mentorship and coaching, that is something that is endemic to me. I love it. I enjoy doing it. And so we do that. I mean, I offer that. Not forgetting our wellness trainings. So I still do public health education, not in a large scale like I did when I worked at Joyce, but it is still, I still get requests. Public health lectures, and somebody might want you to come and talk at a function or whatever. I still do that. We still offer that as well. I still offer that. So that is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to get out of the bag. So I still do. But corner, what I do know, it's and that is something that I always had an affinity to, and that is looking at small micro businesses and looking at ways that they can improve. So a very simple thing like your merchandising. Yes, you have a beautiful face. It looks pretty, but how smart is your merchandising? When I come to your establishment, your supermarket, do I get a woo? Do I see a level of coordination? Do I see a level where I can easily access what I want? So the aesthetics and giving merchants, advice and ways that they can improve these types of things. There are other things that we do because I work with a very strong team with other experts. So I have a very close, one of my personal friends out of Jamaica who does work on strategic management. I have another friend who does work on risk management. So I have a network of, it's not only me doing this. I'm just the CEO, but we have a network of people that we can tap in. So for example, let me give you an example. So let's suppose that the Ministry of Health has identified an issue in mathematics education. In terms of maybe how mathematics is taught to pupils and students, the psychology of mathematics, where students have a phobia doing mathematics, and they have identified that. We can source an expert to actually come and remedy or bring or address the situation under our company. So these are some of the things that we offer. So it might seem to be out of context or out of like, wow, that how did he get into that? But I'm not the expert of all. And so we have a core of people that we can tap into, and we can get them to come across and do those trainings, whether it's virtually or whether it's in person. So that's why when we say communication, it's more than just a verbal conversation. It's about a relationship. How do we forge relationships even outside of Dominica? So that's why we are health and communication solutions, and with a plural, yeah? Solutions limited. And so that's what we do. We also focus on public relations as well. And I will give you an example of why this is so essential. You are now seeing a lot of posts. I don't know if you're on social media, purporting, and I use the word purporting, to be that of a local hotel where people are putting receipts out there and saying, almost in a sense prejudicing that establishment as a very expensive establishment, blah, 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 blah. Now, that could be good to some extent, because it might say, well, it's giving the place publicity for people who do not know of that place. But it could also be bad in the sense that it can run the place as overly expensive. So public relations would deal with that. How do we remedy and let people understand what is happening with that establishment? And we see time and time again with very small micro business where people are now, going live. You go to a place, a staff and a customer is in an argument. Somebody pull out their phone, they film it, and they send it on social media. What happens then? What does the company do? Yes, you may not have a public relations officer because you're not a very large company, but how can you now remedy that situation, that it doesn't escalate to the point where it affects and destroys your brand's credibility and image? So that is something too that we also offer to the public. So if you have a situation and you may want to, reach out to us, that is something that we also offer. Media engagement. You know that I have done quite a bit of live over the years and so forth. Being on the media, I think I've gotten really good at it. I would do a talk show sometimes with absolutely no paper, no guest.
Yes.
Sometimes the guest controls on me, and you would have never even known that I was supposed to have had a guest that day, because I will impromptu come up with something and make the show flow. So when it comes to media engagement and so forth, if, for example, you're looking for somebody to do a live for you, you're looking for somebody to do a broadcast for you, and that kind of a thing, we can cover that for you.
So is it safe for me to say that you can be called upon as an outsourced platform for a multiplicity of, is it just medical services, or you just also have multimedia services?
That's it. So that's why we have broadened the discussion, and we said, as I said to you, it's communications with an S,
yes,
and solutions with an S, and we purposefully, wanted it that way to really encapsulate and include as many auxiliary services that we can, that would be able to meet that client's need. It is a business venture that I have always been very passionate about. It's just that it had to happen at the right time. But it was something that I always had a keen interest in entrepreneurship, not maybe necessarily opening up a shop and selling something, but particularly as it relates to service. I've always had a keen interest in that, and looking around, not just here, everywhere I go, particularly as a consumer, I become a participant observer. So that's a term I learned many years ago at Sixth Form, on the what's his name again? Steinberg Henry, who taught me sociology.
Oh yes. He's from St. Joseph, right?
He would when we were doing understanding anthropology and culture, he would always talk about that, being a participant observer. You're participating, but you're observing even more.
Yeah,
That's what you understand.
let me say that, Peter. Was it just, at Sifakoli area at the time when he was there teaching Haralambos sociology,
Yeah, I still have my book. I still have my textbook
being an
in
observer
my
and a
collection.
participant in society, right?
Yes,
It was
I
rather
still have my
interesting.
book.
He taught me at the age of 19 all about that, and Sigmund Freud and Haralambos and all those great philosophers, and this Khalil Gibran and all these people there.
I still have my textbook from there. I still have that blue textbook.
We will share
And
some
I can
sometime.
tell you that Steinberg loved correcting my papers because I have a very good handwriting. And it's not like in those days, typewriters were flourishing and stuff.
Tell them about typewriters.
You go to the library, you read your books, and then you sit and you write your perspective. And,
Yes.
and you present it. So he enjoyed, correcting because I wasn't one of the people that my writing was quite difficult to understand.
Ineligible.
Yes.
So, additionally, I have with me here, and he's like, he has to be here to ask the question or say hello, and that's my co-host. That's Mr. Donald. Donald, you're regular. Okay, he has to come here, so everybody. Well, this is Mr. Donald Bacasio, and he's there with you, asking you a question.
Carlton, how are you doing?
I am doing quite well. What am I going to do?
Mr. Donald Bacasio is here. He had to come in to ask a question today from his
Who's
studies.
that?
Mr. Donald Bacasio from NDFD.
Oh, Donald.
Yeah.
I actually called Donald today, but
he's
I
right
didn't get
here.
it. But Donald, what's up?
How are you doing? Actually, yes, I missed your call, so I apologize for that. But
That's okay. That's
yes,
okay.
but when Franklin told me that you'll be there.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much for that.
Okay.
So anyway, when Franklin told me that you'll be there, I said, let me pass. 'Cause anyway, I had a meeting somewhere nearby. So I said, let me just say hi to the two of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
And you were one of the first people to actually offer that platform to me initially, and I said to you that let me just wet my feet a bit, and then I actually DBS had beat you to it. I launched in August. The very next day, DBS just called me for a news item on my business, and I told them that I deliberately did not give that news item because I wanted my business to grow organically.
Okay.
I wanted to go out like a Jehovah's Witness and sell my business and not necessarily get credence from the media. And hence the reason I did not do the live with you, and I did not give DBS the news item when they called me the very next day. Because I wanted actually to go out there and push myself and do what I have to do legitimately to sell my business. And I'm proud of myself for doing so.
We're proud of
Right.
you too, man.
Although I have a question,
Go right
him.
ahead. Go right ahead.
And
Yeah.
I think it's a question as well that kind of like in the minds of many people, Carlton. Have you completely or fully closed the door on making any corporate comeback?
In terms of working for someone,
Yes, because you've been exceptional, in that setting, right? Have you completely closed that door?
I can do that only on contract and only in form of consultancy.
Okay.
I have been approached, and this is because I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I think I love the fact that it's freelance. If a client calls me in Antigua, I can just look at my calendar and say, well, okay, I can be there on Tuesday. I love the fact that I have that latitude. And so I don't really see myself doing an 8 to 4 for anybody, right? I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't really want to do it. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see it in the horizon for me right now
All right.
at my age now. And I think the passion that I have for the business and how I've really been pushing the business and the feedback and support I've been getting, I don't think I want to do an 8 to 4.
All right. Well, I'm not really staying. I'm just really passing and just dropping by to say hi to the two of you. But of course, I also want to again extend my congratulations to you, brother, on this new ventures. I know we kind of spoke about this in the past,
Yes.
and I'm just really very happy that finally you are where you at right now. So congratulations, and just keep rising.
I appreciate that so much coming from you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
All
And
right.
we still have to work on our blog, yeah?
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that blog we've been speaking about for years? We
The
still have to work on
podcast,
it.
the podcast.
I have the time now for us to work on it.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
All right.
All right, man. So have a great day, and the rest of the week, you enjoy it to the fullest. I know
Thank
you are
you.
very busy, so I'm gonna give you back to my really good friend, another good friend of mine there, Franklin.
Yeah, Donald, I'm happy
Yes.
that you popped in and happy that you're drinking the water, the business water this afternoon. And
Definitely.
yes, so how was by the way, how was your day? Don't I'm Carlton.
Yeah.
A question for you I
Mhm.
have is that since he is also in the small business side, the idea hits me. What advice would you give to any young aspiring persons, seeing that you have acquired all of this experience and information and education regarding that specific field and niche and area of your expertise? Some people want to open their own business, whatever it is. If you want to encourage them into medicine, what do you have to do? You're like medicines, and from college you apply to the university. What's the process?
I think if you're looking at getting into entrepreneurship or getting on your own, I think the first thing that is important is to be willing to learn all through. So learning should never be restricted and it should never come to an end. Two, be open to um, objective feedback. I don't like to use the word criticism, but rather feedback. Be open to that. Have a mentor. Ensure that you have a mentor, somebody that maybe is way mature in the area than you are, and that they can definitely be a lifeline to you when you need them. So it's important to do that. Um, four, be patient with self. Be patient with self. Be patient with time, and be patient with the process. It is one thing to have it going on and it's doing extremely well, but when you may have a slow moment, what are you going to do? Are you just going to give up on that dream? Are you just going to throw in the towel? So it's important to be patient with self and with the process as well. That's important. But the other thing too is you have to have that intrinsic passion. You have to be really, truly passionate and hungry to wanting it. And even if that means only you seem to be hungry about it, the hunger has to begin with you. And then some way, somehow, you can catalyze and you can connect other people to that hunger. But it must begin with you. And I will tell you that when I look back and I began putting my ideas on paper a couple months ago, it was in isolation. I did not have people around me. I did not have is when I began to put body to my ideas, then I networked with some amazing personal friends of mine from a technical standpoint because I have some real bright people that are friends of mine. So my best friend, who is from St. Kitts, lives in Jamaica, works as a banking consultant in Jamaica. Very, very skilled in strategic management. I called him up. He was very, very instrumental in assisting me and helping me along the way. I had another very good friend, Dominican based, lives out of Dominica, qualified in risk management. I had him, come to the front and assist me. One of my other best friends lives in Trinidad, specialist in project management, came to the front and assist me. So networking yourself with the right expertise and be willing to listen, not hear, but listen, take advice, and make adjustments as it comes, as you go along. Because there will be times where you may make errors, but one of the things that I can tell you that I have learned over the past couple of months is really to sacrifice emotions a lot. I'm getting really good at it, sacrificing emotions and looking at objectivity. And objectivity always gives you a sense of purpose and reason why X, Y, Z has to be done. Emotions doesn't always do that. And so for me, now getting into this area, these are things that I have learned along the way. So while I have been, that's why I tell you, the power of silence is amazing. I was supposed to have been one of the speakers at Dr. Valdez Henry's men's symposium, men's thing this year, but then eventually she had to cancel it. But hopefully it will be on next year.
Yes, because I was wondering.
And she cannot wait for me to be on. And that is the whole. There are so many. Sometimes we have to go through something for us to find our greater being. And and I remember that, in hindsight, when that scandal came out about me and stuff, and I will just mention it quickly. I was right here in Dominica. I hadn't gone to where they say I was. I was right here in my house that Monday morning when it happened. And one of the first things that I did was to I said, everything happens for a reason. And that gave me a strong foundation. And then when I came out from it, when all of that was said, I said to my wife, this will never make me a better person. I'm going to walk on Dominica Street and I'm going to greet everybody the same way like I greeted them. No one will ever see an ounce of negative change in me. Not in behavior, not in attitude, not in facial expression, absolutely nothing like that. And I have maintained that and I will maintain that. And that is when self-identity comes in. You know who you are, you understand who you are, you understand your purpose, and you run with it. So that is why mentorship is so important to me and valuable to me. And that is why, to me, the other thing too that I've learned is that the term that we use, the phrase, the parable that nothing lasts forever, it is absolutely true. And I don't know why we always think that everything lasts forever. So you've been working at a place, you should stay there forever. You've been a teacher and you should stay teaching for thy kingdom come. You should never think of maybe making a move or something else, pulling you into another direction where you may have greater impact, but you keep on staying in that same space. And so for me, I think growth is constant. And I am tremendously happy, and I am tremendously at an awesome place in my life, professionally and personally. And I can tell you that I am quite optimistic that the future looks very well for Health and Communication Solutions Limited.
Carlton, you are having a nice impact on our listeners. Yes, so one of my good friends in New York sent me a copy of the book entitled, have you heard of this book, The Power of Silence? It's a guide to mental peace. And it's by Carl L. Wood. It's another guide on silencing and harnessing your greater potential. Now, having said that, and the position that you are at right now, I'm going to ask you a question, but the person have really enticed me to ask you. Now we recognize that there's an aging population of great percentage of our population. I think my telephone may be going on. Okay. Okay. Let me try and take this call, and then I'll come back to my question. Hi, good afternoon. This is Nejal and Small Business Buzz. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Franklin.
Saka Fedlu twice.
I was so happy that I'm hearing my boy voice.
Kalti, you hearing?
Yes.
Oh,
Kalton, my darling.
He's well. After you finish talking, he will come back on. Yes. Just tell him.
Right.
Yes.
Anyway, tell him I just called to say hello and wish him well.
Okay.
All right. Take it easy.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Kalti, I hope you heard that. Okay. No, not yet. I have to where is he? I think he's still there with me. Okay, so that's it. I'm waiting on Curtis coming back. When Blue called, the call dropped. Okay, so Sister Blue called to congratulate you a while ago, Carlton. I hope you heard that.
Excuse me?
Okay, no, Blue, who just called to congratulate you and tell you how just joyful she was to hear you this afternoon. Okay, so the next question is: we have an aging population, persons who also do not speak, fluent English. Because of we have various persons on our shows, and also we have persons who are dispensing medication and health services who may not be able to articulate some of the. For instance, if you have somebody who is out or not a Dominican dealing with an elderly who's from Grand Bay, who's speaking Patois, not able to understand. Now we have a compounded situation where we have people dealing with AI, with automation of dispensation of medication. Is there a possibility where people can train others to understand this transition can be done, is going to happen regarding medication dispensation and with new technology?
So you're asking about if AI is going to be taking.
Yes, what impact is AI going to have on health, on medication, on dispensation of medication, and can it be trusted?
Well, I think AI has its role to play in the advancement of technology and the advancement of information and education. However, there are certain roles that are still very much and must be human based, and that is one where medicine is concerned. It's one thing, to Google something, but it's another thing when you actually have to face the doctor and interact with the doctor to get that physical that you may need. So, as much as or younger people may be fascinated by AI and its advancement and role in the face of technology and innovation, I do believe that medicine in itself has always been one of compassion and care, and the human aspect of medicine must remain and should be there. And it's the very same thing. Like a lot of the times, people go and they experience a symptom and they immediately go on Google and they put that symptom, and not recognizing that you will get a lot of information relating to that symptom. And a lot of times people get very anxious unnecessarily because they choose not to seek the intervention of a healthcare provider near to them. But it is something that we are noticing. It's something that is important. And as I said, AI does have its place in the advancement of medicine as well. But when it comes to the tangible, the care, that empathy and so forth that you may require,
the personal care,
AI cannot touch that.
Yes, because it has no empathy. So, and maybe it cannot even ask follow-up questions like, "What is your family history?" Yeah.
Okay. You might need a Vargo.
Yeah.
For them, just the way that the nurse touches your hand to give you that injection. Sometimes you may have 3-4 nurses on a rung, and there's just one particular nurse that you feel comfortable to give you that injection versus the two others.
Yes.
Simple thing like that.
Yes.
You understand?
Okay, so as we begin to wrap up, we mentioned education, access to education, health concerns, and with the advance or the emergence of very new diseases. Do you think within the Caribbean region? Tell us about what a position that what's the name of the Caribbean pharmaceutical organization is? A short name, CAP. Is it CAP?
CAP, Caribbean Association of Pharmacists. What is it now?
It's called CAP, right?
Yeah.
And then you are also a member of CAP.
I'm a member of CAP. I've won several awards compliment CAP.
And that makes you, that qualifies you. So now would you one day become a consultant in the Caribbean in terms of in the medical field, or do you intend
one day become what?
a consultant, a medical consultant, and apart from what you're doing, a regional consultant, a national consultant?
Well, I mean that is something that I have an interest in, but more specifically, particularly in the area of preventative health. I believe in advocacy. I believe in changing the narration, the way that health education is actually disseminated. I think it has to be tailored in languages, and I put the word languages that are specific to different demographics. You cannot how you might converse to academics, you might not be able to converse to the guys at the domino table the same way. And so you have to be able to tailor that language that it may be able to get the positive feedback and impact that is required. So I think that is the kind of area that's some of the things that I'm very passionate about. And I think even people who would have come into interaction with me in my career would have known that I've always always tailored my narration in a way that people, no matter what status you are, educational level, and all of that, you will understand. But Franklin, before I leave with you, I just want again the public to know tomorrow is actually World Diabetes Day.
Nice. I'm happy you mentioned
World Diabetes Day tomorrow. And it is a very significant day because diabetes and hypertension remain the two main medical conditions affecting Caribbean people. So in a sense, based on statistics right now, to every 10 adults in the Caribbean, it's like to every 10, 7 out of every 10 adults may have either high blood pressure or diabetes. So that's very alarming. And this year, the focus is on diabetes and the workplace. Diabetes and the workplace. So tomorrow, the Dominica Diabetes Association is having its official press lunch at the NDFD conference room. That's where we'll be meeting at 9 o'clock, and we'll be having our official lunch, press release, or press lunch to commemorate World Diabetes Day under the theme Diabetes and the Workplace. And yours truly will be the featured speaker tomorrow at that press conference. And we are really hoping to send the message across that yes, there are some risk factors that you don't have control over, like your ethnicity and your genetics. But when it comes to lifestyle, you have control over that. And so even if you're diabetic, or you may have been told that you are at higher risk to diabetes, modifying these lifestyles may actually prevent you from getting a diagnosis of diabetes, and could actually help to prevent you from getting major complications associated with diabetes. And so we want you to be really be conscientious. We want you to take ownership of your health and recognize that really and truly your health is one of the greatest pillars that is going to keep you up and running. So don't compromise it. Don't take it for granted. Don't assume that it's an old people disease, because we're seeing younger and younger people, even in school, in the school setting. We're talking about primary school and secondary school, developing type 2 diabetes, particularly if in cases of obesity, where the students are morbid obese. And so we want people to be more aware of these things. And so tomorrow, as we celebrate World Diabetes Day, we recommend that you wear something blue. If you have something sky blue is the color, the official color for diabetes. So we are advising that you wear something sky blue tomorrow, as we all stand in solidarity with those who are battling, particularly the complications of diabetes, and those who are diabetic. We really want I really wanted to end with that because I am very big on the diabetes education and so forth.
Okay, well, Carlton, you just gave me a mouthful there. You just just filled up every compartment. Just the final question, and that's a surprise question. If I was to come to you, let's pretend like I'm all the audience, but I'm pretending to be just that person. I'm coming to you. Okay, Carlton, as a man to man, I'm advancing age, and we have confidentiality. I need to build up myself. Apart from helping a man or men in general, what are the services that you provide? What if I need counseling? Do you provide that, Carlton?
Right. We talk about personal consultation.
Yes, like for men.
Yes,
for the niche, the men's niche, us men. You and I, we can talk. I can come to you.
I love that question because yes. I will tell you that from since I started the business, and I have been so involved in, running here and meeting with companies itself. I have had many people have been calling me, when are you setting up an office in Rose?
Yes.
Where can I meet you? I need to talk to you about this. I need to talk to you about that. Well, I've gotten a place now. I will let Matt know exactly what my day is going to be and my hours, because I don't intend to be sitting in an office every day. And no, that's not because the company is more than that. So I will not be doing that, but there will be at least maybe once a week or twice a week where I can meet with people for consultation purposes. I'm not selling medication, so don't come expecting to live with paracetamol or something like that. What I'll be doing is, meeting with you, doing whatever the typical assessments and whatever it is, and helping you through whatever situation that you're in.
Yes, well, wonderful, Kati. And now the most important part is so how do we get? We have this emergency, we have this concern, we want this consultancy, we want this medication, we want this advice, we want this counsel. How do we get in touch with Kati? What number? Where you look at? Yeah.
Yes. My number is 44. No.
Not yet.
You have to go
76. Okay.
285
3.
3770.
Yes.
And the business email address is HAND, that is and CSLTD @gmail.com. So it's like it would be spelled as hand, HAND, and then CSLTD, as in one word, @gmail.com. So that's the business email address.
Okay, so we have some folks online watching us on Facebook, like Petro and Simone. Just here, just happy listening. Of course, next, of course. So you have an audience here in our pavilion of listeners across the globe, and I think you touched some folks. I'm sure that many folks will be calling on you for your strength, for your resilience, your insight, and your qualification in terms of advice and counsel in terms of men's health, general health, national health policies, and things like that. So, Carlton, we're proud of you, man.
Thank you so much, Franklin, for the opportunity, and To all the listeners of QFM, QFM is like my second home. It was good to take a nice break. I have been working on something. I've had dialogue with Mr. G on something. We may look at it in 2026.
Oh, good.
We'll look at it in 2026. But I needed the break, and I'm glad that I've gotten the break and so forth. But I'm always here. I'm always available. My number, Matt has my number, so people always get it from Matt. And if you need a consultation, you need to speak with me on a matter, I'm still available.
Well, and finally, just tell them again the name of the business, what solutions it is?
Health and Communications Solutions Limited.
Carlton Ando, thank you very much for joining me on Nature Island Small Business Buzz this afternoon. Thank you on behalf of Mr. Donald Bagastio, management and staff here of Q95, Mr. Sheridan Greg, and the rest of the management and staff, along with the folks at NDFD. Carlton, thank you very much. We salute you, sir,
Thank you very much, too.
Yes,
Have
you
a
will.
good afternoon,
Yes,
everybody.
bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. And that's our edition this afternoon. Thank you very much for listening. It's 5:05 right here on the big station, Q95. Coming up next, our evening edition of news with Miss Amanda Bertrand.